Alexander Litvinenko, Guidance Before Death. A Russian spy agent and writer, Alex was a Russian Orthodox Christian from birth, but converted to Islam near his death. Litvinenko died of polonium-210 poisoning in England, causing great controversy. Moreover, Russia refused to hand over the murder suspect, Andrey Lugovoy, who has now become a top official in Russia. Litvinenko had told his father about his Islam several days before he died. He was then buried according to Islam. The British government will announce the results of the investigation into Alexander Litvinenko's death in the coming days. The name Alexander Litvinenko may sound familiar to some people around the world. His figure appeared in the news in various international media in the second half of 2006, after his death was revealed to have been killed by poison, a type of radioactive substance, the isotope polonium-210. Before he died, it turned out that the former secret spy agent for the Russian intelligence agency, the Federal Security Service, FSB, ordered him to be buried in an Islamic manner. Indeed, at that time only a few people closest to Litvinenko knew about his Islam. A number of international mass media reported that the funeral ceremony was held in secret and was attended by at least 30 of Litvinenko's close relatives. The funeral ceremony itself was held in the northern area of the city of London, England. A separate ceremony in his honor was last held at Regent's Park Mosque, London. This is in accordance with his wish that his funeral procession be held in accordance with Islamic law. Even his father, Walter Litvinenko, reportedly attended the ceremony at the Regent's Park Mosque with Chechen fighter leader Ahmed Zakayev. Litvinenko's relatives said the father of three had become Muslim before he died. According to Walter, his son declared himself to have converted to Islam while dying in a London hospital until he finally died on November 23, 2006. Litvinenko converted to Islam 2 days before he died, said Walter to Radio Free Europe. In an interview with the Russian newspaper Kommersant, which was quoted in the December 5, 2006 edition of Times Online, Walter said that his son, who was originally an Orthodox Christian, stated his last wish before he died, namely that he be buried in an Islamic manner. He said, "I want to be buried according to Muslim traditions." I said, "Okay, my son, everything will be done as you wish. We already have a Muslim in our family. However, the most important thing is to believe in the Almighty. God is one," said Walter. Meanwhile, a colleague of Litvinenko, Ghayasuddin Siddiqui, who at that time served as chairman of the British Muslim Parliament, revealed that Litvinenko had officially converted to Islam 10 days before he was poisoned. Meanwhile, Ahmed Zakayev, who was once a neighbor of Litvinenko, said, "The day before his death, he, Litvinenko, asked to read the Quran and told his wife and other family members that he wanted to be buried in Islamic traditions." There was no information on why Litvinenko converted to Islam. However, from several sites that reveal his career, it seems that Litvinenko is disappointed with the Russian government's attitude of always fighting Chechen Muslim groups. For this reason, a number of sites revealed that Litvinenko's murder was related to a number of his statements that touched on the policies of the Russian government at that time. Apart from that, Litvinenko's interest in Islam can be seen in the peaceful attitude of Muslims who will act if they are pressed to defend themselves. He saw that Muslims were always fighting for peace. His father, Walter Litvinenko, said his son grew up disillusioned with the so-called hierarchy in the Russian Orthodox Church. He had tried to express his dissympathy with the Church's attitude, but it was not followed. This dissident man, born in Voronezh, Russia, December 4, 1962, joined the Soviet counterintelligence agency, KGB, in 1988. After the Soviet Union disbanded and changed its name to the Republic of the Russian Federation in 1991, he was promoted to the General Staff of the Federal Security Service of the Federation, Russia, FSB, specializing in counterterrorism activities and infiltration in organized crime. During his career at the FSB, he received the title UPROAR Veteran for the operations he carried out with the MUR, Moscow Criminal Investigation Department. Litvinenko also performed active military service in many of the so-called hotspots of the former Soviet Union and Russia. In 1997, he was again promoted to the most secret department of the FSB, namely the Department for the Analysis of Criminal Organizations, with the title of Senior Operational Officer and Deputy Chief of the 7th Section. In 1998, he publicly accused his superiors of giving the order to assassinate millionaire Boris Berezovsky, who at the time held a key government post as Secretary of the Security Council and was close to President Boris Yeltsin. Due to his open statement, since 1999 he has been imprisoned for 9 months on charges of abuse of office. Litvinenko was arrested for the 3rd time in 2000, but he managed to escape before being imprisoned. He managed to escape without a passport to Turkey, where he joined his wife and son Anatol, who had left Moscow on tourist visas. On 1st November 2000, they migrated to England and requested political asylum. And, since October 1st, 2006, he and all his family members officially became British citizens. During his lifetime, Litvinenko was known as a critic of President Vladimir Putin's regime, especially towards Chechnya. Because of this attitude, it is not surprising that his name was put on the wanted list in Moscow as one of the most important dissidents of the FSB. While living in England, Litvinenko wrote a book in which he revealed the role of the FSB in the 1999 bombings in Russia, which killed more than 300 people. He wrote the book entitled Blowing Up Russia, Terror from Within in 2003. In the book, Gang from Lubyanka, Litvinenko alleged that Vladimir Putin was personally involved in organized crime when he was still working at the FSB. The end of the cipher's life. Alexander Litvinenko is no longer a Russian spy. However, his life ended like a secret story. You may succeed in silencing one person, but the waves of protest from around the world will echo in your ears for the rest of your life, Mr. Putin. May God forgive what you have done, not only to me, but also to my beloved Russia and its people, Litvinenko said in a statement read by friends outside the London hospital where he died. On November 1st, 2006, he suddenly fell ill while conducting an investigation into the death of Russian journalist Anna Politkovskaya. On November 1st, 2006, I held 2 meetings at once. The first was with a Russian, and the other was Andrey Lugovoy, a former colleague in the FSB who is now a businessman. Later, I had dinner with an Italian security expert, Mario Scaramella, to discuss the case of Politkovskaya's murder. It was at that first meeting that I suspected there was a connection with the poisoning of me, read Litvinenko's written testimony, which was read by his friend after he died. In his written testimony, Litvinenko also revealed that after the dinner, he experienced a loss of consciousness for several hours. I have been silenced by the Kremlin, because I have threatened to reveal embarrassing facts. For several days, I was treated and underwent various medical tests. My hair was falling out, my throat was swollen, my immune and nervous systems were badly damaged. The doctor said I was suffering from heart failure, he said. Since intensive care at a London hospital, Litvinenko's health condition has continued to decline. The team of doctors who treated him said that the chances of Litvinenko surviving were 50-50 within 3 to 4 weeks after the poisoning. The doctors' predictions turned out to be correct. On November 23, 2006, all of Litvinenko's body organs were no longer able to withstand the poison attack. Experts believe that the Litvinenko murder case involves quite a high level of scientific knowledge. You see, the poison found in high doses in Litvinenko's body was a high dose of radioactive polonium-210, which is difficult to obtain. The results of an investigation by Scotland Yard revealed that traces of radiation were found in 5 locations around London after the case occurred, including a sushi restaurant and a hotel visited by the former secret agent who lived in England. What is a mystery is that radioactive elements are very difficult to obtain and difficult to detect. Indeed, polonium-210 can be obtained naturally around us, even in the body, only in very small quantities and not deadly. To obtain lethal doses of the radioactive material discovered by Marie Curie, a Polish scientist, requires high-level expertise and connections.